Laura Crapo. I'm going to do a reading on Taylor Swift today. It was a recommendation. So I'm just going to tune in. So, I mean, the initial thing that I pick up is just like a very busy, like organizing energy. I feel like there's like her self image, and then like on top of that, sort of looking like a pearl is like other people's impression of her image. And then there feels like the like press, like advertising thing that is feels more like narrow in scope. That's sort of kind of aggressively and like presenting its own version of her. That feels like more aggressive, more um like go getter kind of like they're the press or like her publicity, whether she designed it or other people, like a manager designed it to be this way. Like it's trying to present her as like maybe stronger or more like persistent or like it just it's hard to describe. It's like kind of like it feels metallic almost and like two pronged. So um in that sense, kind of like colder and stronger, like you know how metal is strong, cold. So it's like, and maybe, maybe in the press, like because the press can be really out of hand. Uh, there might be that desire to keep things like short and sweet and like a powerful message, and we're in and we're out. Like it's very that sense of control and like don't and strong, like metal is strong. So maybe after trial and error and feeling hurt by the process and the culture of the media, a decision was made to make it like very short and sweet and like these are the tour dates, hello and goodbye, kind of thing. um and then the fans idea of her, like you know how if like someone's kind of quiet and like interesting or attractive or something, and you kind of might embellish like qualities they might have that you imagine they have or whatever. And but then so it's sort of like that, like while she has her own qualities, I feel like her fans are creating like an even more elaborate and fantastical like scope of her qualities that can be like even in the realms of like magic or spiritual or like it's it's like a big orb, like an aura that like looks like a shining pearl or something. So it's like she triggers people's imagination, I guess. And it kind of like, I guess, in the scope of this reading, I would like the her fans to realize like they are the ones seeing this beauty and embellishing it. So it's like these are the qualities you have inside of you that are really beautiful and loving and supportive and all that stuff. So it's like own whoever feels that way about her should just own that those qualities that they see, like because like if you didn't have them you wouldn't be able to perceive them in somebody. So I feel like it's important to highlight that in case some of her fans might feel like, oh, like I could never be that or do that or something like that. But like truly, like if it's something you can relate to or recognize, then it's a quality you have. Because my impression of like Taylor Swift's energy is like she's very human. Like she's her. She's just uniquely her. But she's not like, some kind of like the old Mickey Mouse movie where he's like a magician and stuff. So it's like she's not like doing that. Like she's presenting her work, you know. Uh she's her, And what makes it that level of like extra is like the fans g- generating this energy, you know, for together. It's not just her that is like, it's not just like the songwriter working alone or with some producers or whatever that is generating this like person energy. It's like the fans who feel like they resonate with things about her that they then just shower this like extra very powerful energy you know while she's taking part with them. And you could say equally, like, I think people underestimate the energy that they have. And so this is what I'm seeing right now. So like what else? Yeah, so she has a very supportive atmosphere where she can just be kind of authentically her, talking about what she wants to talk about, wearing what she wants to wear, like chilling, hanging out, working, and like making decisions, whatever. But it's like there's a time limit to it. And like I just you can't underestimate the contributions of the audience and the fan base and stuff, because like what I was just talking about with the energy. Yeah, so I feel like part of her message, her purpose, is to be this kind of very open and unpretentious, real, like authentic person. And like I feel like also this the landscape of entertainment is shifting too. So this I feel like this sense of like the megastar, the like the stadium show, like things like that are gonna start shifting as time goes on to like smaller events. Um, so it just really feels like in the scope of things like a moment in time, and in a way her approachability, because she has her social media and she communicates a lot through that. It makes her very down to earth, and the sort of Wizard of Oz, like, David Bowie, like unapproachable magician kind of vibe. Like, it kind of has been a race now where we're really learning about a lot about people, um, famous people, because we're seeing inside their house where like they're doing mundane tasks, and like you know what I mean. So it's demystifies these people. So now we're, even though uh, the century, like we're in the 21st century, there's some lag time as to like what's truly like futuristic in terms of this new century. And I feel like we're just getting into that now, uh, where the ways of old are like becoming like obsolete. Like for instance, like the Oscars or something like originally made to just advertise the movies that they made. They're like a big kind of a publicity stunt or whatever, and it just seems like really old fashioned. Or like the Tonight Show or something. It's like, oh, like the Tonight Show is kind of like a variety show. It's like, oh, we got a musician, or we got a like and then we got a puppeteer next, and then we have an opera singer, and it's like all that stuff is really like 50s, 60s, 70s, and it's still in our environment, but it's like seems outdated. So it's this kind of thing where she's just like an artist that happens to be at this time where the structure of the music industry is such that if you're a popular artist, you're going to be playing massive venues and being on these cycles of touring the world. But I really feel like within 5 years, like that template is going to shift dramatically. And I kind of feel like there's maybe 7 more years of her like really on the grind, like busy with public appearances and stuff. There's something to do with like, I don't know, animal rights, or I feel like she's in a warm climate and really putting emphasis on the environment and like animals especially. She may just choose like, I have enough. I've contributed and now I want to like enjoy my life and, you know, live in one place, and really like connect. Um, yeah, and I feel like she'll want to highlight like nature and like animal rights, or like that if she's near the ocean, it kind of feels oceany. So, you know, protecting wildlife, ocean wildlife, whatever. I don't know if you can call that wildlife. It's water wilderness, but you get what I mean. So I don't see her like getting married so much as having like a very like um secure long-term friendship with a man who isn't like a cheater, but like there isn't that necessity of like the wedding. And she might enjoy like a lot of time to herself, so it's not like a you're always together relationship. I feel like 3 years ago there was some sort of point where she took a turn and just made some kind of decision that like affects her whole life. That maybe took her to a place of like it could be about like these giant tours she's having right now. Um, but like there's like a price to pay for everything. While it might be wonderful and lucrative and all that stuff, while you're busy doing that, you could have been doing something else. And like so that what is that something else? Um, it kind of feels like something personal, like home life and like sort of a child rearing kind of vibe. So I don't know if was a sacrifice made there. I don't know her bio. Like I know what she looks like. I have children of my own, so it's like they play or like make me aware of her music and stuff. Um, but I don't know like all her biographical details. Anyway, it just feels like there was that choice made. So it's like you gain something and you lose something. Well, when you do that. I feel like she's like trying to be very firm with people that run her career, and she feels like she's a powerhouse in these meetings, but actually, I feel like they're kind of just going, mm-hmm, and then like doing what they want. So either she needs to reconfigure her staff, or educate herself more, or have like an outside person outside of them informing her on her decisions. So it's like you need a lawyer for your lawyer, like for your lawyer kind of thing. So just to dot all the I's and cross all the T's kind of thing. Better safe than sorry. A stitch in a stitch in time saves nine kind of thing. Like, um, Taylor Swift. I feel like there's some kind of like issue with eating that like I mean obviously touring constantly, being on the move, like you're not always sure what meal you're gonna get or like I mean obviously she probably has staff for that. But like the stress, while it's fun to tour and everything, I think it's still a level of stress. So I just feel like there's something like that where the body is a bit like under stress and you know there's something to do with food that is like difficult in that area. I don't want to go too deep with that, but I'm just mentioning it because I pick it up. I feel like there's like family. Is she close with her family? Anyway, there's like family or something or very close friends. They're like family, but it getting kind of a family thing. Um, it feels like a lot of pressure. Like she may be a sort of not like a black sheep, but like very different from the rest of her family. And well, there's a desire to connect just for peace, and just feeling loved or something. Like there's always been this, like they have different instruction manuals, all the members of the family, or it's like her versus them, like they're very different. And so that can feel like a lot, like where if she's like the main earner in the family, there's it's like a reversed roles and like weird kind of pressure that is like unwelcome. I feel like she has some like close female friends who really benefit a lot from exposure from being close to her, and it makes them kind of like lazy partners where it kind of spoils them in a way, and then they become that their inevitable kind of uselessness makes them spiteful. Like it's a weird like snake eating its tail kind of cycle with them. In the end, I think if Taylor can kind of just go like, I prefer having friends than not having friends, even if they're flawed. But I'm gonna give myself a little gap of like buffer space where I'm not gonna be affected by their negative decisions, and just like really try to keep my energy like uncompromised and in my own vibe and let them be them, and I can coexist with people who I don't need to completely like meld worlds with. Something to do with cars or the van danger kind of stuff. So I would just like hope that everybody is careful and like, around driving things. I think if she like has a look at her driver and like if they look tired or they seem fine or like it's good to I think it's good for her to check in with like not to just like blindly walk onto the bus, but to like actually talk to and look into the eyes of the driver before she takes a ride with them. Just to make sure everything's cool. Make sure they're not like texting and driving or like, you know, have some supervision there. Even if there's like a like a Nest camera or whatever showing the driver so that if she's in the back watching TV or something, she can also see like what the driver's up to. If you're allowed to do that, I don't know. But like I know I took this like shuttle bus from like downtown LA to LAX and I had this instinct I gotta sit near the driver. So she was like right there and she literally was like texting like trying to text the whole time be like hey like put your phone down look at the road because she'd seriously be like swerving towards the concrete median and stuff and I you know I've got 3 kids I'm like I want to see them so I was like really on her to like put her phone down. If I hadn't said anything I'm 100% sure like something bad would happen because she was literally swerving into the middle and like seemed to not care at all. So like there is such a thing as like bad drivers, right? And because you're a passenger, it's like you're allowed to have an opinion about safety. Okay, so there's that. I feel like there's some like it feels like male media members who really like come in with like really offensive questions and stuff. And I think she can just like meet some of those questions with just silence. She doesn't have to be discussed or anything. It's just like let that person have to hear their question echoing in their mind with no answer. No, there's no home for that question. Like it's just gonna that's your business. That's your problem that you felt like asking that and it's like, you know, she showed up. She was asked to for this press meeting or whatever and then she's not obliged to answer everything. It's kind of like that. What was his name? Like when the Sonic Youth guy was like hosting 120 minutes. I know I'm like really old. Like I remember what Hansen? What's his name? No, like Beck. Yeah, Beck Hansen. So anyway, it was like Beck being interviewed by Thurston Moore, and Thurston said something, and Beck just like took off his shoe and then threw it across the room, and that was like a great answer. You know, so, it's that kind of thing where she's not obliged to like meet the person halfway, and like it's sort of like those questions you see like Oprah or you know whatever people who like ask those hard questions. It's like you're not obliged. Like just your presence is enough and hopefully like the interviewers can start to like you know ask questions that are like at least interesting or something to the person they're interviewing. All right, so yeah, because like you don't want to be abused anymore. You can just decide like, oh yeah, who I was thinking of like Ellen DeGeneres. Like what? Like she's so she's like really aggressive. She asks these like horribly mean and like invasive questions and then smiles like it's normal or something. It's totally not. Like it's just rotten. So it's like some people just have to like not put up with that stuff until they just decide like, oh okay, we're not gonna be like awful anymore. Um Okay, so Taylor Swift. So like there was just that warning about some really offensive question asking people and you can just not answer them. Um, and really it's not even worth an eye roll. It's just like you did that. That's for you to that's for your like life review with God. Like it's not my problem. Uh okay. Taylor Swift. Yeah, and I also feel like I guess she's dated a lot of famous people, and they may say stuff in the press, or like let's say they write books, or like whatever. But I just kind of feel like she should just not let herself be bothered with that. I feel like there's a lot of that kind of subtle character defamation stuff that trickles in now and then from people she's encountered, but it's just like just focus. I would say to her like just focus on your art. That's what you're here for, your art and creating a vibe, and like whatever other people do around you, like you can't take responsibility for that. That's their choice of like how to spend the precious hours of their life, you know. um okay, I'm gonna try to wrap it up here. I feel like she owns property in a place that's like environmentally sketchy, like earthquakey or stormy or like uh too close to the ocean, something like that. So there might be some kind of hazard there. Cause like the weather's getting wild. Um, I guess I'm losing some light here. Let's wrap it up. Yeah, it's like more of that. Like, who is that now? Who's like giving that? I feel like if I feel like if Oprah or somebody like that comes calling for like a really serious sit down interview, like you just like thank you but no thank you. Like no. Like if she wants to put out something that really reflects her where she's at or what she wants to talk about, she can make like a film. I mean, she has the budget to like do something cool and she can communicate her message how she wants to get a crew together, like do her own little documentary or make a feature, like a whatever, just have fun with it. Like just, but you don't need Oprah or somebody like that to like contextualize you. Because I feel like there's a great danger in doing that. That'll like really mess with your brand like publicly and like why, like, just why. So just keep having fun and be brave and like you don't have to do what like is being done today. Like is you don't have to go through all the meet all the various people. You don't have to go on the Tonight Show. You don't have to like whatever. Like maybe that one's fine for her, but like you don't have to like do the routes. Like do pick and choose, or just make your own stuff that is for your fans and like you don't necessarily need to do what everyone supposedly does. Like because I think it could really hurt your feelings if you do everything everyone tells you that way. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this reading on Taylor Swift. My name is Lauracrapo, and I do these readings because like I think all these celebrities, we're all people. Like we all share sort of similar story arc and various degrees of being out there or not, and we all kind of go through the same thing. So it's interesting to talk about a person we all know. Whatever. Okay. All right, well, take care. All right, I don't know how to turn this off. Like, I'll press the X here.